That hurt. More verticality. Recording in progress. All right. There we go. Recording started. Welcome to the Straight Red Card. We got a bunch of shit to talk about. Oh, and I did forget to tell you that the name of that yogi that Danica Patrick interviewed in her pretty intense podcast, his name is Sadhguru, like S-A-D-H Guru. Sadhguru. Maybe he pronounced it Sadhguru. Either way, it's kind of depressing. And some of the things he said were a little odd, like the whole "we're all gonna die" thing. I get that.
It's true.
Human beings are not suffering because of bondage. They are suffering because of their freedom. Wow. That was...
Okay, Arnold Schwarzenegger, calm down.
It's their freedom that allows them to live life unconsciously. If there were more problems in their life, and people have a lot of problems. So, I mean, he's just saying this in, I guess, a very general way.
Maybe I misunderstood the quote. What was the quote again?
When life is good, basically, you live in a more unconscious way. Like you're not conscious of what's going on around you. You're kind of like in robot mode, right?
Yeah.
Like day to day, you just go through the motions. You're doing your robot shit.
Yeah, that's the circular phrase where they talk about like hard times make strong men make good times make weak men make hard time make strong men, etc.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, I think if you're going through hard times, you're forced to go into a deeper conscious state, which is why people in those sort of situations, a lot of them get depressed or they battle depression or, some of them commit suicide because you're really maybe almost over focused on your conscious state, like your depression, your feelings and your emotions. And then I don't know if that's actual consciousness, because to me, consciousness is also the ability to find a way out. Like, here's the problem. I'm conscious of the problem. And here's how I can fix the problem. The problem is when you can't fix it. Then it doesn't matter how conscious of a being you are. But this is something I talked with my son about for many years. It's so funny listening to this yogi, because it's like Nick lived in an unconscious way, my son. And I just always talk to him about, you need to be more conscious about, not just go through life, like it's, because you're not going to enjoy it if you just live through all of it unconscious. Now, there are times it is good to become unconscious and just do what you need to do to get through the day, right? Some of that shit, if you fucking, every guy that cuts you off at a fucking red light, you were conscious of it, and it will infuriate you. Everything or every bad thing that happened during the day. Yeah.
For those listening to this, here's what Derek said to Nick. Nick, you gotta quit being a butterfly, fluttering around wherever the wind takes you. You need to be more like a wasp. Be a wasp, Nick.
That's not what I meant.
Be angry.
It's like, okay, Nick goes into the kitchen to make himself some ramen noodles. But he leaves the packaging all over the place after he's done making the ramen. He doesn't clean up after himself. Why? He's staring at his phone while he's making ramen noodles. It's like, okay, put down your phone after you're done making the food and you got it in the bowl and throw away your crap in the garbage. So I don't have to. Because if I have to, and I'm not gonna, I'm going to be upset. You need to be more conscious about what you were doing and less into the ether. Unconsciousness.
I feel like that stems more on the lines that it's your house and it's not his house. Whereas, let's say I'm at my parents' house when I was younger, I might leave shit on the counter or whatever, not put my dishes in the dishwasher. But now that I have my own house, I make ramen noodles for my daughter, my wife, or whatever. I'm immediately throwing that package away, immediately washing out the pan because it's my house. So all of a sudden, it's my problem to deal with. Whereas as a kid, your problems tend to fall on your parents a lot of time.
But how many people do you know that seem to walk around and live their life in sort of this unconscious zombie-like state?
A lot.
Too many people are doing that. And it's like you need to reflect. You need to stop and reflect about life. That doesn't mean you need to have regrets. As the yogi said, he said something like, know the past, but don't live in the past. So, okay, yeah, you made a mistake. This is great yogi music. But don't live in the past, because their only way is forward. And you need to learn from it and move forward. You can't have like regrets. I mean, unless you murdered someone, probably you should have some regrets, probably. Like you murdered some people. That's not good. You probably should feel regretful about that. But most of us haven't murdered people or done anything horrible, like super horrible. So I think, I like that one with what we were just talking about, by the way. Is this the new StreamYard music for free?
I just haven't scrolled. I've never actually scrolled down all the way on the brand section of this, which is where I generally end up posting all of our videos where I click like the products, that stuff.
So that's
all
funny.
That stuff. So there's music, there's background music at the end of it.
You could host like a business meeting on StreamYard and then just put in that music in the background.
Be subtle like this.
Yeah, that's pretty subtle.
Like this.
Oh, you can boost the volume.
Oh, yeah.
So now you better have something psychedelic to say, like, okay, there are in the world a big M and a big I. The big M stands for moral. The big I stands for immoral. But those are transcendental morals and immorals. The only way we can get there is to understand what our consciousness, and our consciousness interprets the big I and the big M into little I's and little M's, immoral morals. Those are our laws, okay? Those are the way we make laws, right? The big I and the big M is our interpretation of the transcendental. All right, well, that's some
M&Ms also make WWs. It's all about perspective.
I just fed you some Kant. All right. All right. Oh, God. Nah, I don't know about this one. I'm not sure about this one.
This one's your favorite. It's the lo-fi one.
It's all right. It's not bad.
But this one's lo-fi.
I mean, it's all pretty generic. It's all electronic, generic. And by the way, when I say transcendental doesn't mean that transcendentalism in general doesn't mean you have to believe in Jesus Christ or some necessary named higher power. It just means that you believe there's something higher and better. It could be a fucking floating gas for all we know. It could be
a spaghetti monster.
Yes. It doesn't mean you could be agnostic and still be a transcendental person, be a transcendentalist. You don't have to actually believe in any human written religion. You can just believe I've
seen Star Trek 5. I know about this shit.
Yeah, you can believe in an undefinable higher power, right? Or whatever you want to. It doesn't have to be higher. You can believe in an undefinable power. Yeah. Well, my shit doesn't come from Star Trek. I read hundreds of books on philosophy growing up as an English, and I was thinking about becoming a philosophy major there for a while.
I feel you. See, I didn't do that because I had a life. Well, you had a life too. That's the funny thing.
I was really busy, yeah. But it was shit I was into. And I remember hanging out with a bunch of with a bunch of the guys who were in the doctorate program. And I thought, hey, so what are you guys going to do with this degree once you get it? They're like, write books, become a teacher in college. I'm like, yeah, but that's kind of like philosophy classes are like way down. Like nobody goes to those classes anymore. So, I mean, are you guys going to be able to get a job? They're like, they both looked at each other and they're like, oh yeah, this is going to suck.
My dad took a philosophy class back in college, and he was late to taking his final, and he got there and got the final paper and everything. And the question all the question said was why. And his response was, why not?
That's so basic. That's like, I think, therefore I am. Hey, dude, it ain't that simple.
It was an intro philosophy course. It's not like he's like a philosophy major by any means.
You could be a fucking brain in vats, right? You're thinking. You're a brain in vats, i.e., what was the show? With the space show, the cartoon show, the spinoff from The Simpsons.
Futurama.
Yeah. Remember all the brains in vats?
Yeah.
So you could think, and then but you're not am. You do not exist. You're just a brain in vats controlled by somebody pumping exterior information into your brain and making you live a life in your brain that makes you think you exist, but you really don't. You know? Okay.
This is all the Matrix anyways.
It's like Back to the Matrix, yes. Which is all stolen from, oh God, who's the guy? It starts with a D. He wrote all that brain and vat shit back in like before
Dumas.
anyone, it's like David Hume. David Hume. He had this whole brain and vats theory before everybody else did in the like 1800s or early 1900s. It's crazy. How did he already come up with a brain and vats theory in fucking the 1900s or late 1800s? Look him up, David Hume. What year?
You want me to look him up now? Okay, sure.
Yeah, real quick. I just want to make sure I'm not wrong, but I thought he was in the 1800s. Hume. Hume. David Hume.
He's a Scottish philosopher. Born in 1711. Died 1776.
Damn! He was way before his time. Way before his time about saying it's impossible to prove you exist.
Check out that cat.
Damn. I forgot how old he was. I knew he was old.
Problem is he's Scottish. So you couldn't understand half of what he says.
Hey, yeah, we could figure it out. I mean, listen.
I don't know. I've heard some really thick Scottish accents.
I have too, but most of them are closer to the movie William Wallace or Braveheart. Most of them. I mean, and who's the Scottish guy that used to be 007?
Connery.
Yeah, Sean Connery. You could understand him. It's a very prim and proper Scottish accent, though, that he uses. So, God damn, we're fucking 11 minutes in the show.
12 minutes.
All right, here we go. So let's get back. There are a few
David Hume should be our thumbnail.
We might as well do that. Put him in there alongside of one of the players we talk about here. That would be hilarious. So Weah went 90 in a loss. So he played the full 90 and they lost. That's just not good news. Bello 13 in a loss for Bielefeld. They are going down. It's official now. McKennie still injured. Joel Sonora 87. We don't talk about Joel anymore. We kind of give him like
But he's been injured and he was on the bench for a while.
We
do talk about it.
We talk about Joel, but nobody else does.
Everybody now is just talking about his brother.
Allen. No Joel. Joel's got no love. But he plays.
He has no honey.
He plays for Velo Sarsfield since he's got there. He's a starter. They got a tie. McKenzie went 90 in a tie for Genk. We already talked about that. Gooch went 90 in a win for Sunderland. They are in the official playoff spot now. In fact, they played a playoff game on Monday, which we'll get to, which they won on the aggregate. So they're into the next round of the promotions playoffs.
You're saying they're up 1-0 in the aggregate?
No, they
won.
They already won on aggregate, so they're on to the next
stage. I gotcha. I'm with you.
Corbos from Virl faced off against Leonard Maloney. They both went 90, but Virl beat Dortmund 2's Maloney. Dante Seeley, 24 for PSV 2. Johnny Cardoso was in the 18, which happens again on Monday. Pulisic, and he doesn't play. Pulisic 90 in a tie. He did get an assist in that game, but man, they fucked that up.
Well, see, now with the Pulisic game, I was in Michigan this past weekend, guys, so I didn't get to really watch much of any soccer. But I did watch the last 30 minutes of the first half of the Chelsea game. And for the most part, it appeared to me in that 30-minute spell that they did not play to Pulisic much at all. He was open a number of times.
Yeah, he didn't get the ball.
But they didn't really pass him that often. But
you were
saying that he should have had a second assist?
Yeah, definitely. Yep. There were a couple other good passes by him, good through passes that were missed.
And
One by Werner. But Werner missed one. He didn't miss it. It was saved.
I read a number of things online saying that he played well. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, in that 30-minute spell, there was 2 goals that were, I think, called back, or at least one that was called back.
Mm-hmm.
That may have been a Werner's goal, I think.
I'm not sure which one he had. I don't think he had anything.
So one that Lukaku ended up getting called offside for, or his deflection caused an offside or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad game, but his teammates bypassed him quite a bit, which was frustrating to watch. Holmes went 90 in a win, Mighton 90 in a tie versus Mighton 90, Horvath in the 18. Big shocker. They got a tie. Ola Sunday injured, Ream Robinson 90 in a loss. Man, they have lost like 3 games in a row, Fulham, at the end of the season.
Man, we can qualify, whatever.
They're like, that's it. We're promoted.
Time to coast.
We don't care. Fuck these games.
Well, I feel like at that point, Fulham should just be like playing like their youth at that point. Let's go ahead and get them some experience.
Not really. They're playing a few bench guys, but that's
what I'm saying that's what I would do. If you're already promoted at that point, go ahead and roll the dice with some younger players.
They didn't. I mean, Ream and Robinson were in there, and some of the other starters were in there too. So
maybe they want to screw over some other team that's trying to get promoted.
Yeah, they definitely didn't play the regular starting lineup, but that's okay. But Ream and Robinson played, and they lost. But it's official. They're going up. Balogun. Oh, and then they talk about CCV being signed by Fulham and being Ream's replacement.
Well, there's a number of teams. Even Newcastle's throwing their hat in the proverbial race for CCV at this point.
They got a lot of money to spend. They can find a better center back than CCV if they are going to be. They're going to be a super club, the next super club, right? I don't know. CCV. They have to
have a good season before they really can start pulling in players. I know money talks, and I know some players will come over regardless. But you have to have at least a couple seasons of there that you're contending before bigger players come. I mean, like when Chelsea, when
City,
City, yes.
Mm-hmm.
When City took City a couple years, at least 2 or 3 years.
A couple years to really convince the big players. They would sign one big player the first year, a couple more the next, and they got Tevez eventually, and blah blah blah. Everything got better, and then everybody wanted to play there. So especially switch coaches too. That didn't hurt.
Yeah, but there are a number of EPL sides that are interested in CCV, and I know obviously Celtic's interested.
I mean, nobody thought Mark Hughes was going to last at that club once they were taken over by Etihad and all the others. So, and all that money, and he didn't last long. DK is still injured. Balogun went 30 in a loss. I can't read my fucking handwriting. Anyhow, we'll skip it then.
Get a computer, type this shit out.
Che in the 18. Richardson still injured. Brooks 90 in a win. Green 20. Tillman 80. Loss. Toljan still injured. Luca De La Torre went 90 in a loss. Not his fault. CCV 90 in a win. Again, watch the footage on the Luca De La Torre game. I mean, it's just frustrating. He gets things started like they're on the attack, and yet no finishing. Christian Ramirez.
It looks like Eric Lee's got a red card as well.
Yes, they did. But
that was in the 92nd minute. Never mind. Scratch that.
Yeah, it was late. It was late in the game. CCV 90 in a win. Shit. Christian Ramirez only went 30 minutes for Aberdeen, but Polvara started. The younger kid started and went 64 for Aberdeen. Interesting.
Yeah. It was funny because I was reading a tweet about Ramirez recently.
He fell off at the end of the season, man.
Well, they're talking about if Ramirez was 21, we'd have, and pulling these numbers in, we'd be having a completely different conversation about it. But I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, if you're 21-year-old striker in Scottish Premier League on one of the top, generally speaking, top 4 sides,
he lost his job 4 games ago. Not a starter. anymore.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know if we'd be necessarily praising a striker that's got 9 goals. What if 9 or 11 goals or what the hell he has?
And all at the beginning of the season, and then he went on this long fucking drought, and then they're like, "You're out. You're bench guy." So it didn't work out in the end. Joe Effort went 63 for Motherwell in a win. Sebastian Soto, 10 in a tie for Livingston. Only getting 10 minutes at Livingston? Really? How good are you? All right. Hoppy in the 18.
Oof, that was a brutal game.
Yeah. Musa, 66 in a tie. Miazga in the 18. Didn't play, and they are last. Alvarez is last in the Spanish. So he's leaving, and he's going to go back to Chelsea. He's going to have to find a new job. Dest is still injured. Alan Sonora, 80 with a goal. So maybe that's why they're talking about him more. A goal and a win for Independiente. Johan Gomez, 30 and a goal, and in a tie for Zwickau. That is Jonathan's older brother.
So Johan was on with Testman's podcast that he does, and they interviewed Hercules recently, and Johan had a question for Hercules saying, "Hey, what would be your one advice to dual nats?" And I'm not going to break down what Herc said as a whole because he went on a couple minute talking point about it, but basically he said, "Hey, don't be rash to make your decision."
Mm-hmm. Yes, don't.
That's basically the gist of it.
Yeah, pass that on to your brother, Johan.
Yeah.
PFOC,
maybe that was the point.
Hercules has got a point.
Yeah.
PFOC, when 34 was pulled off from the start because of a knock.
Nothing like a pull-off.
Didn't seem like it was serious, but if it is serious enough that he can't join the next window, but then it wasn't, because then, yeah, I think he'll be fine. But it looked like it wasn't serious. But they pulled him off anyhow. Vasilev, by the way, Indiana Vasilev, who played just a week ago for Aston Villa's 2 team, is back at Miami on loan. Started first game. Got off the plane, snuggled his balls for a few days, bam, on the field. They didn't do well. But when do they do well? Miami's got to be most tragic starter-up team we've seen in a while. Run by a guy with and a team with lots of money. They went out and bought all these over-the-hill superstars, and we're just noticed that doesn't work anymore. You can't buy over-the-hill superstars anymore.
And not even talking about the team in general, but talking about the franchises as a whole in Miami. Miami Fusion didn't go very well either. They couldn't draw on the people. They had some decent players.
That's not their problem. They're getting people there, though.
I'm just saying, though. Yeah, I'm just saying there's always some issue that occurs with these with the Miami teams for whatever reason.
Well, I think Beckham and his folks just went the superstar route. They got Pizarro. They got 2 Argentinian brothers. They were thinking that's all it's going to take. No, and now they've gone the opposite route. Like Vasilev started. Robbie Robinson started. They got a bunch of young kids playing now. So I don't know. Maybe they're gone from one extreme to the next. And that's not how you do it. You got to have a blend. Not of old superstars, but a blend of very capable, responsible players and a smattering of young talent and a smattering of talent that people just didn't realize was real talent. Like Atlanta did it right. They didn't go get a superstar big name, but they got a guy to come in who could play forward, who was a badass. And nobody knew it until he got to Atlanta. Mihailovic with another goal. Dude cannot stop scoring for Montreal and a win for Montreal. So this is a mix. Sunday, Tessman and Busio are on the outs. On the outs as far as starters for Venezia, and they still lost, but they are going down, and it looks like they're also out of favor because both of them road time for 90. Sargent still injured. Giuccaccini, 4 minutes for Montpellier, and that's been the whole season for him. Conrad still injured. EPB, another 90 for Troyes and a tie. Listen, what EPB's been doing for Troyes cannot be ignored. It's been impressive. Scally, 4 versus Chandler, who went 90 in a tie. Adams, 20 in a win. Augsburg, Pepe, went 32 in a loss. Ledesma was in the 18, as he usually is, but he did not play. James Sands, a whole fucking 90 minutes for Rangers in a win. God damn it, dude. Ian Harkes was on the other side, Dundee United. But they lost. Aronson, 45 in a win.
Dundee lost, right?
Dundee United.
Yeah, they lost.
The reason I say that is because there's a Dundee and a Dundee United in the SPL. So you can't just say Dundee because they're like, no, there is a team named Dundee. You got to say Dundee U or Dundee United.
I guess it's similar to like City and United there.
Yeah, exactly. Otasawi was in a modeling set, so he could not play for Bruges. He was busy waxing lyrical.
So I don't know if I brought this up with you at all. I saw this on Twitter. It was over the weekend, so it hasn't come up yet. So a couple of teams in Europe are interested in Caden Clark's services right now.
Caden Clark.
And yeah.
I thought you said Caden Clark.
Yeah, Caden Clark.
Okay.
And I know that obviously he signed with Leipzig and has been loaned back to New York, but he's not playing, I guess.
We said that like months ago.
Yeah, and there is a couple of teams that have come out interested in him, and one happens to be Bruges. And so I go, not the greatest track record at Bruges for Americans.
No, don't go to Bruges. Don't go to Bruges. In fact, how about figuring out how to start for New York Red Bulls or Red Bull New York? You get criticized for that. You're like, NYRB. It's not NYRB. It's RBNY. And then other fans are like, no, it's not. It's RBNY. It's like,
I bet you learn how to play for the Metro Stars.
Fuck you guys. Figure it out yourselves. I'm not a Red Bulls fan. You guys work that out.
In his defense, maybe the Red Bull system just doesn't work to his benefit, and another system would. But
no, Red Bull system works perfect for him.
Well, it's clearly not.
He's not playing well. He got a big head. He's not playing well. I'm sorry. I don't know any other way to put it. When he does get a few minutes, it's not good. All right. Where were we?
Just talk about Bruges.
Yeah. Sam Vines went 90 in a loss. Christian Kappa 63 for Brøndby in a tie. Sabby went 15 in a tie against Nordjylland. And of course, Jonathan Amon. That guy might as well just put a stamp on his forehead called injured. Boom. Continuously injured. Bam. Done. Never playing again. Joe Galgos went 80 for Sonderjyski in a tie. Nico Carrera in a win for the 2 team at Holstein Kiel. I got that mixed up.
Come on, Derek, learn how to pronounce names.
Jesus. Terrence Boyd. 65 in a loss. It's kind of funny. I would bring up like East German, old East German. So my mom grew up in West Germany. They never learned any of the names of the cities in East Germany once the country was split in half because she was just a little girl at the time, right after World War II. Mm-hmm. And like I'll name some Eastern old East German cities, and she's like, I've never heard of that before. I'm like, okay, I get it. I know why you don't. Yeah, we don't know many of the old East German cities like that. We didn't talk about that in school. All right, Stanko went 90 for PAS in a win. They are currently in second in the Greek First Division. So they're competing for a Champions League spot. Good for Caleb Stanko. He's one of those forgotten guys that's probably just as good as Acosta, actually, although he didn't do very well when he was in MLS, but he was playing on a shitty team. I don't know how much you can blame that on him. Lederman, yes, Ben Lederman went 85. He's a regular starter for the second place team in Poland. Wow, never saw that coming. But he's not going to be playing for us. He's already committed to the Polish national team. Mendez, 89 and a tie. The other Boyd was in the 18 for Rizespor, and he did not play. Then just some other things that happened in MLS. Lennon got a goal for Atlanta. Aaron Long got another goal for the Red Bulls. The assist was from Nealis. These are all just Americans. Dwan Jones got a goal. Sebastian Lletget got an assist. Hurtado, I mean, he's not going to play for us, so screw that. Vasquez, goal for Cincinnati. There's a hot guy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's talking about Brendan Vasquez for Cincy. He just keeps scoring, kind of like Pepe did the season before. Jesus Ferreira, goal. Areola, goal. Dallas wins 2-0. Marky Delgado scores the fucking rocket fucking ball from outside for LAG, goal. I like the fact that Greg Vanney's kind of selectively brought over some old players that when he was coach of Toronto, Delgado being one of them, Zavaleta, although he's related to Zavaleta, by the way. He's his uncle. Yeah, they're related to each other.
Nepotism.
It is, but he didn't start him and he didn't play him. He did start Delgado, and Delgado lit that shit up, dude. That was an amazing 35-year goal. A rocket. On a Monday, we got Cardoso in the 18. He seemed to be falling off of favor for Internacional in Brazil. He hasn't started or played for like 3 games. Gooch went 90 in a tie in that playoff, which got them into the next round. Saucedo's still injured for Pumas. Shaq Moore, 20 for Tenerife. Shashua seems like he's out of the picture now for them. Joe Corona, 75 for Sundsvall. And they were up 2-0 when he left the field. And then when the game was over, they lost 3-2. It was like a goal in the 80th, a goal in the 85th, and a goal in the 91st. And then they lost. And then Haji Wright scored on a PK. He went 80, and that's his 8th goal in 8 games, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Do I kind of look like Dave Chappelle right now?
No, you're white.
I know, but when he does the whole dude that has the...
Yeah, you're also missing the white powder around your mouth.
Well, we can fix that. I got some baby powder around here. I can just... But that's what you...
Should have gone with some powdered sugar instead of baby powder.
Yeah, that's my Dave Chappelle. All right. Word? Yeah. Okay. So I think that does it for now. We're going to end this. Brett, unless you have anything else to add, I do not. We bullshitted for like 10 minutes before the show.
Yeah, no, seriously. I think we've spent our bullshit time.
Yeah, we're done with that. All right, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with grandma, and continue to buy t-shirts because we want to see you in one, and we want to see it on camera. We want to see it at a game. Take a photo when you get your t-shirt. Send it to us. We'll post it up. We'll feature it on the show. All right. Until next time on the Straight Red Card, don't pick your nose in public. Good night. That hurt. More verticality. Recording in progress. All right.